Good morning. What a glorious fall morning we have here in Maryland, and I hope you're having a good one too. Welcome to Coffee and a Card. I'm here most Fridays at 10 o'clock, so tune in, and you can always watch my Facebook page for announcements of when it is coming up. Every third Friday of the month, though, I am not here live at 10 o'clock. I do a live in-person event where we make cards for troops at a local coffee shop. So every third Friday, I am not here on Facebook, but I do reschedule a different time so that other people can tune in and watch. And if you miss that, you can always watch the replay. All right, welcome. As I see some people hopping on, welcome. Good morning. Hope you have your morning beverage with you and able to either sit back and relax or craft along with me. I did put some measurements in the description of the cards for troops, the coffee and a card announcement, and I was able to try out some of the cards. I was making some of the cards, and then I realized I made a mistake on one of the measurements, so I am so sorry. On the layer of cardstock, I put 4 by 2 3/8. We're actually going to do 2 1/2 instead of 2 3/8. So unfortunately, if you've already pre-cut, you'll have to cut another one. It's not like you can trim it down because we're going a little bit bigger than smaller. All right, so I'm sorry about that. I did amend that in the Facebook post that announced the cards. Coffee and a card. All right, welcome everybody. Good morning, Nadine and Patty. Yeah, it's nice to see some of my regulars on. Hey, if you're joining me new, welcome. And what we do is we like to put a little comment in there. I'm asking you to put a comment in there so that you can be part of my raffle. And every week I pick somebody to win a small prize and just say good morning, be part of the conversation, talk to, converse amongst yourselves, in the chat, or ask me questions. I try to watch most of the comments. Sometimes I miss some as I'm doing my project, but I do go back and answer any of the questions that we have. I go back later on and look at them all. Okay, good morning, everybody. Wow, some of my regulars are on. Good, so some new names too. All right. Hey, Sandra, your paper share went out yesterday, so be looking for that. Probably tomorrow you'll get it. Okay, good morning, Darlene. Oh, I'm so happy to see some of our regular people on and some new names as well. Oh, thanks so much, guys. So what, I have tea today. Remember I was showing you my Mickey mugs the last 2 weeks? Well, here's another one. This is a real tall one. It isn't just distorted in your view. This is it is really tall. I like that because it keeps my beverage nice and warm, less surface area for it to escape from. So tall and narrow, and it holds a lot. I should measure how much it holds. I don't know. Anyway, it was from the Disney store, and I love the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I take out all my Mickey mugs, my Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey mugs for fall, because it's just kind of a Halloween-y thing for me. So anyway, yeah, this one, oh, did I show you the inside? See, it has the little Mickey guys all around the inside too. See, with his little sorcerer hat on. Okay, so you got it both places. So I have tea today. I didn't get around to making coffee. I had a lot of coffee yesterday. So anyway, that's the story here. I'm going to just come over here and try to see. I wrote down on my computer, my laptop, who the prize was last week. I forgot to bring that out today. So I'm going to see who the raffle winner was. All right, has anybody checked the online exclusives lately? Don't forget, in addition to the regular, oh, I'm on caps lock. No wonder it's not working, my password. In addition to the regular catalogs, of course, don't forget to look on the online exclusives. Also the clearance rack. There are a lot of great things, greatly reduced on the clearance rack. So don't forget to check those things out when you're online. Okay. All right. Nadine, you had enough coffee, huh? Okay. You have your 1 cup a day, right? Yeah, water's good too. Water's good too. All right. So today we are going to, I'm going to sort of case one of my own cards from before, because I've had these cards sitting in my rack over here for a couple years, actually, because I just loved these cards so much. I loved the designer paper, and they're an inspiration to me to continue to make similar cards. So it's a crossover gatefold. So if you remember what that is, I think you'll enjoy this one too. But basically, a gatefold opens in the middle. All right, so that's the gate. And then the crossover part is going to be, we're going to put pieces of cardstock across here. And so one part's going to open this way, the other part's going to open that way. And it's going to kind of have a little bit different look to it that way. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do that. We're going to do a horizontal version and a vertical version and a horizontal version. So just be ready for that. If you didn't hear me earlier, if you just hopped on, I had a little mistake in one of the measurements. For the cardstock, colored cardstock layer, we're going with 4 by 2.5, not 4 by 2 3/8. So I apologize if you have to cut a new piece if you're crafting along and you have to cut a new piece for that. Unfortunately, we can't add on. It's not like I'm saying, oh, it's too big, we have to cut it down. That would be easy, right? So I really apologize for that. When I was measuring it, I don't know. I was just, maybe it was a ruler I was using. Maybe I just didn't have something lined up. Then when I was making my actual versions early this morning, I used my grid paper and I used my, excuse me, I used my metal ruler because this is very, very accurate. So I don't remember what I was using when I typed up the other one, but I do apologize. I did correct it in the post, and so hopefully it should be okay. All right. All right. So I will, let's see, my winner from last time was Betty Monroy. Did I say that right? Monroy. Betty Monroy, the raffle winner, and she's going to win a pack of embellishments. All right, I have a whole stack of them, and that are fun from the new annual catalog. So you're winning that, Betty. As long as you're in the U.S. Okay, I'm sorry. The raffle winners have to be in the U.S. because it just part of the Stampin' Up! Rules for me to, well, I'm not selling, I'm giving a gift, but for me to send it overseas, it costs a lot more. So I do appreciate your understanding that. So Betty, if you're watching live or the replay, then give me, private message me your address, and then I can send that out to you. All right, so congratulations to Betty. So don't forget to put your comment in here, and then you can be part of the raffle for next week. All righty, so nice to see more people on. People have their beverage. All right, touch replay later. Oh, okay, bye, Barbara. Quick visit today. Okay. All righty. So, how many people are crafting along today? All right, give me a thumbs up or say I am. Actually, put in the comments, I am. All right, because that way I can go back later and see who were the crafter longers. Okay, Patty is. All right, you're so good, Patty. You always are crafting along. You're always ready and doing stuff there. So good for you. Okay. Oh, Crystal, yay, good for you. Okie dokie. Okay, just checking out what's going on here. All right. So, card base, colored card base. is going to be, we're going to do the vertical version first. Excuse me. So your colored card base is going to be 8.5 by 5.5. And I asked you not to score it yet because we're going to score it in a little bit different way to get that gatefold. So let me just clear off my workspace here so you don't see all the mess. Okay. I have to admit, I get so distracted when I am trying to create new cards. I know some of you too. You get overwhelmed. And hi, Jaylene from Florida. Okay, and Debbie's knitting. All right, good for you. I get distracted because I say, okay, I'm going to do this card. And then I say, all right, now which paper should I use? Should I use this paper, this color? And then I start and I look at one. I say, oh, but this will also look good. And this will also look good. And then, oh, maybe I'll use these steps. But no, this will look good too. So I start pulling out all these things. And then before you know it, I've got so much here. And I just have all these ideas just spinning around in my head. It's like a tornado. It's like, and then it looks like my desk had a tornado hit it too. So that's why sometimes when I get here, it's like, okay, I'm going to wing it because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Because any of it's going to be good and we can make it work. But I don't know. Like I said, that's my confession. I get very distracted by so many ideas here. So let's see what happens today, right? Always an adventure. Just going to scoot my camera around. There we go. All right. So here's the card that I did many years ago with this beautiful DSP. And we actually had this foil is actually not just gold. I think they called it brass. It was not quite coppery, but it I have some over there. It's sort of a pinky gold. So, and this is the crossover part. All right, so here's the gatefold. These two sides fold into the middle. Some of you have seen this before. But the crossover part is how one piece of cardstock is connected to the left and crosses over the right. The other one is on the right and crosses over to the left. So I've seen another name that says interlocking gatefold, and that could be a term too. So mostly I hear it called crossover gatefold, but you know what? Call it whatever you want. Just make some nice ones, right? Okay. Excuse me 1 second while I blow my nose. Oh, okay. You don't want to hear me sniffing. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with our base. So here's a 5.5 by 8.5. So that's half your cardstock. See, now I have to make my decision of which colors I'm going to use. All right, you know what? I'm going to use copper clay because I have to decide. It's now or never, right? All right, copper clay. And we are going to score over here on one side. Now, remember, I'm going to give you the rationale here, so you don't have to just remember numbers all the time. I like to give a reason for why it is, and then you can understand it or remember it better. So, remember, your typical card is 4.25 wide, right? So, you want your front two panels to be half that. So your inside is 4.25 still. So you want both of these to be half that. So half of that is 2 1/8. So that's where you're going to score it at. But we're going to do just one side, and I'll show you how we'll do the other side, just to make sure it's going to meet up nicely. So now you don't have to keep going back and looking at, oh, what was that I had to score at? Just think of the reason. See, that's the teacher in me. Think of the reason and the concept, and then you will just know it. Okay, so 2 1/8, because 2 1/8 makes 4.25. So we're going to score at 2 1/8. Okay, this is copper clay. Okay, then we're going to burnish that score line. Okay. So, yeah, I clean my table too, guys. I see Debbie and Jackie having that little conversation. I clean it, but like Debbie, it's going to get busy again. But you know what? If it never gets busy, that means you're not doing anything. Okay. I know some people are so good and clean up after every project, or at least by the end of the day. And maybe it's just the nature of me doing what I'm doing. Maybe if I were just a hobbyist, then that could work, but not when I'm working on so many things at once. Just not possible. It's okay. Every once in a while, it gets done. All right, so now we need a contrasting piece of cardstock. Oh, see, did you see what I'm doing? I took this side and I folded it over to meet this. I did not score this ahead of time. And the reason is that once you put in your white piece or vanilla, whatever you're using, in the middle, okay, so let's say that's there. And if I scored this, there's a chance that, you know, sometimes when you're scoring, sometimes, or when you're measuring, sometimes you go right on the line or covering the line. Sometimes you go just before the line. Sometimes there's a fraction of an inch where you're off. Well, if you make your first score and burnish that, fold it over, then just take your other side and butt it right up against the edge of the other side. That way, you know it's going to fit and you're not going to get a gap. Last thing you want is to see that white or vanilla paper gapping through, right? So this way, you know it's going to fit perfectly, no gaps, and it's not going to overlap. All right, so score one side and just fold the other side over. Have it meet. Make sure it's all together. Hold it still. And then take your bone folder and burnish that line. And you'll have a perfect gatefold. Okay, then we need to put our pieces across. So we need a contrasting piece of cardstock. This was early espresso, and this was cinnamon cider. So it's kind of a little similar between the pecan and the copper clay that we have now, but the cinnamon cider is retired. And then there's the DSP there. So I had planned on using the All About Autumn Designer Series paper. And this has been so popular that a lot of it became unavailable very quickly. It has these beautiful photographed images, which at first I didn't take to. I was thinking, no, it's okay. They're nice, but it just kind of wasn't my thing. But they do make nice cards. You know, I've grown to like them, and well, there's some leather. I was thinking, who's going to make a card with like a leather cushion? But mix that with, say, the library books that you see over here, and you've got a pretty nice masculine card going. And they are actual photographs. So it makes for, you don't need much more. I mean, look at the pumpkins. Yeah, that's all good. But for those of us who like to be a little bit more individually crafty, then I could see how these might not be your cup of tea, so to speak, but use your creativity in other ways. Use them up in ways that show off your creativity rather than, you know, this just being it. But like I said, for a simple card, you don't need much more. Take some of those pumpkins, put it on a little background, and put a sentiment on there, maybe a piece of twine, and you've got a quick and easy card. But one thing that really kind of sold me on these, let me just try to get all the images out here. You've got some different textural patterns. I love things like this, like the wood and whatever. Okay, this is really pretty too. The fall scenes. I love the colors, of course. This reminds me of a walk I used to do in New York. Oh, it was so pretty. But the back sides of these are really, really pretty, really fun. So this is another one of my favorites. A very subtle has some pinky tones in there, those mauve tones. And there's a textural thing. Your sweater, right? A little knit thing. And then some more books, just up close, and the wood shelf. All right, wait till you see the back sides. It's got some foil to them. Look at these. So even if you didn't like those front sides, the backs are so pretty. Everyone has a particular design with some foil highlights in there. So they can look really nice, mixed and matched together. Obviously, that's the whole idea of them, right? All right, so since I'm using the copper clay, I'm going to use one of the copper clay pieces here. And let's see, maybe I will... The copper clay would look nice on there, obviously, because it's the same color. Now we want something as a contrast. And I do like Pretty Peacock with this. So I think I might choose something with some Pretty Peacock in there. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock as my back layer. Okay, to give it the contrast. And let's pick something here. Let's see if there is something on the front that brings out the Pretty Peacock. If not, I might just go with this one here. It's more foily, but that's okay. I want to try to mix things up a little bit. I'm not sure if there's Pretty Peacock in any of these. Not really. This one might have a hint of it in those highlights, but I don't like that with that right now. I want something more interesting. All right, so we're going to use this one here, I think. Well, that has the Moody Mauve in it. So maybe that would look just more pretty with the peacock, right? All right, so maybe I'll save that one for something else, and maybe we'll just go with this other pattern. Yeah, maybe you can do that. Or, oh, wait. Here's what I should do. There we go. That one there. That's it. I thought there was something in there that was a better choice. All right, so let's put these away. Now, you know what? These are, unfortunately, these papers that were unavailable for a while came back beginning of the week and were again gone in a day. That's how much people are loving them. Just crazy. So they are due back, not this coming week, but the next week. So stay tuned, stay posted to there. All right. And let's see what we can do with this. Now, this is where we have to measure our layers. And this is where I goofed before. So please make a note. We're doing 4 inches by 2.5. Okay. So I'm going to do 5 and then cut that down to 2.5. And then we want 4. 4 by 2.5. Okay, you know I'll use those pieces for something else. Even though there's no peacock in this, that looks really pretty on there, doesn't it? I don't know if it comes out on the camera as nicely as in person, but it does look nice. All right, so that's going to be our crossover parts. And then our designer series papers have to be 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. So again, think of if there's a direction to your paper, if you want it up and down or sideways. For these, it doesn't really matter. And then also decide which one you want on top and bottom. Okay, so 3 5/8. So that's just short of 3.5. Okay, so that's going to fit on there with a pretty big border. Now, if you want it, if you don't want as much of a border around here, then you can go a little bit bigger. And you know what? For this card, I liked having the bigger border around because it was a subtle contrast to the designer series paper. So, I'm going to make a little change here, guys. I'm sorry, but I am going to make this a little bit bigger because I think I would like less of a border with this contrast. Yeah. Okay. I'll use that one on a different card. See, if I were just going on it like this, then that would not be a problem. Okay, so oh, you know what? That's my problem. Never mind. Okay. I did 3 3/8. I mean 3 5/8. See, that's no wonder it was too small. Okay, so I was right the first time. Let's go the other way. 3 5/8 by 2 1/4. Sorry, guys, if you cut wrong with me. All right. There we go. That's better. I was wondering. Okay, then let's use this one here. It looks like some pretty tiles. All right, and here's how I store my scraps. My designer paper, you know, for these little 6x6s, I store them in just a clear envelope. Stampin' Up! Sells these, and I like to protect my cards with the clear envelopes. And you can even mail them with this. Just put a label on the envelope or the back of your card, and that has your addresses. And then you can mail them in these. And it looks so pretty when it comes in the mail, and people can actually see your card. All right, then I just slip that in my sleeve that I get from Stampin' Storage. All right, so then let's do this one more time. We want 3 5/8, so just beyond 3 1/2 mark. Get it right this time, Lorraine. And then 2 1/4. Okay, see, I'm trying to be better at focusing. Putting things back so it's not all over the place. Staying on one thing, one task at a time. It's hard sometimes, right? Got stuff all over. Okay, so we're going to attach those and attach those. So put your designer series paper on your cardstock. Yeah, I've really gotten to like this paper. I have to admit. I was not a fan when I first saw it in the catalog. And then you see other people using it, and then I said, all right, I'll get some. And then in person, I like it a whole lot more. And obviously other people do too. Anybody here today have this paper? Anybody that's live? Okay, so like I said, when I checked the status this morning, it is supposed to come in the week of October 23rd. Okay, so now we can decide which direction we want these cards to be, right? And it all depends on what we want to put where. Now, I typically, just rule of thumb for whatever my eye sees, I like, oh, you have 3, Carol? Good for you. I like to usually have the darker pieces down at the bottom and lighter at the top. But then you might want to think, well, the more busy on the bottom and more subtle on the top. But then you also have to consider one part's going to have your sentiment and one's going to have an image. So you want to take that into consideration. So I'm going to use some of the dies from the Autumn Leaves collection. I love this. I've already cut out some dies. Again, I use those clear envelopes to keep in my stamp case when I die cut some extras. Sometimes as I'm running the dies through, I'll cut extras that I think I might need on that project, or just while I'm rolling, I may as well put a few more in there and save them for another time. All right, so let's see which dies we want to use on this. Now, obviously, putting some things on here might be a little much. All right, I have some in Lagoon, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Wild Wheat, and the Oxidized Copper. And I just love these dies. You don't have to even do any stamping, and you have the detail on there. Not only, it's not just embossed, there's actually a slit in there that gives it, that nice detail. So obviously, I mean, if I had some of that, the Lagoon could work. Obviously, the Copper Clay, and obviously these could work too, because it's got the peacock and the coppery colors in there. So if I wanted, I could do something like this down here. That would show up against there, but it's a little busy. And I could bring in some of the Lagoon as just a little bit of a contrast, or we can put it over here. I think I want my sentiment on top, so that's going to be a little bit of a factor. And then what if we did this? This might not show up quite so much. I mean, it's not too bad. Might not want too many colors, though. So I'm thinking maybe taking that out, maybe doing these two little maple leaves and that one little oak leaf down there. All right, I think that might actually work. And then we'll put a sentiment up on top here. You can always do something up there as well if you wanted, right? Put a sentiment there. Now let's see how that goes. Okay, before I glue anything down, I like to have the card all laid out because, like I said, I change my mind. I get distracted. I say, oh, well, maybe this will be better, and this will be better. And sometimes you end up with the first thought, but at least you've tried out the other options, right? All right, so now we need sentiment. So I'm going to do, I'm thankful. Now be careful on some of these. The images are too big to fit just on the label. So sometimes double check down here. It says on this one, images are 80%. All right, so when you're looking at something, don't think, oh yeah, that'll fit. You have to remember, okay, on some of them, the images are smaller on the front cover than they are in person. All right, for instance, there's the I'm thankful, and there's the stamp. All right, so you see the different size difference. Just keep that in mind as you're picking out what you're going to use. Okay, I'm going to stamp in Copper Clay. And I'm going to stamp on white. Oh, I'm going to do I'm thankful, and then they have little things in here that you can add to that. I'm going to do to have you as a friend. All right? And I'm thankful to have all of you as friends, my stamping friends. Press and seal for yes. Oh, yep, that's a whole nother tutorial. Yep, thanks, Debbie, for reminding that. Yeah, that's a great thing, because you can basically, you can lay out what you need to do, put your press and seal, I have it right here, in fact, this, press and seal, you can put that over what you've arranged, and then flip it over and glue it while it's on the back of your press and seal, and then lay it back down on your project and it's all back in the same spot that you originally intended. So that's one nice feature of that. Okay, I'm thankful. I'm going to see if I can squeeze that there. To have you as a friend. All right, so this is what I like to do. I take my grid paper. Okay, excuse the mess here, but I don't want to get my original one all dirty. All right, so I'm going to lay this down. To have you as a friend, because it's photopolymer, I can look right through and line it up on the line. I want the letters to be on the line, not the outline of the photopolymer. Oh, no, it's okay. You're not just, thank you, Debbie, for the conversation. You like that. Thankful to have you as a friend. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to pick it up and it will be all good. But I'd like to test it first. See how it looks. All right, perfect. I'm thankful to have you as a friend. I'll put that there. Okay. And then you can, see, here's a way of me being focused. I'm going to clean this off right away so I don't just throw it around someplace. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that together there. All right, so now, obviously, you can use some punches. You can use the dies that come with this. The dies are, they do have a little label to it. I think I want something a little bit different, a little different shape over here. So I'm going to grab one of my punches. Let's see, this might not fit. Lasting label. Oh, it does fit. Okay, and again, I'm going to show you how to make it a little bit different size. I'm going to, I've done this before, but just you'll see again. Because I want to put a little gold behind here. So I'm going to bring this up to the top and punch it. Is that straight? I know I stamped it crooked on the page, but I think it's straight in the label. Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to run it through the punch again, and I'm going to cut the bottom. All right. So in order to do this, obviously I can't hold it in there, so I need my Post-it note. I use my little sticky note and just stick it to there, which creates a longer handle for me to get it in there. And now I can cut it a little shorter. And I am going to have to trim the sides a little bit because these curves might look a little funky. Well, maybe if I bring it up a little bit, that might be okay. I might have to trim a little point off of there, but we'll see how it goes. No, not bad. And so now I have a thinner label. So I have just that little tiny point right there. I just want to snip that. Just round it off a little bit. There we go. And then there. Okay, so now when I punch the same lasting label with my golds, there, will this one fit? Yes, it will. Okay, it's the scrap I had. It's going to be the same width, but I will see some color above and below. All right, I'll see that gold shining through, and I think that'll look really pretty up there. let's glue that together. And of course, we'll put some dimensionals on the back there. Oh, thank you, Carol. Oh, I appreciate that. So 20 years. All right. Yeah, I've been 20 years too. So I started in January. So this coming January will be 21. When did you start, Carol? Okay, so there you go. That just bumps up the label a little bit there. And see, our card is coming together. Very nice. Of course, dimensionals on the back there. Then once I'm happy with the layout, I can glue it all down. Okay, yeah, thank you, Jackie. I like to remind people of things because, number one, people can forget. And then also, not everybody sees every video, and they might say, oh, I missed that one. Even with my long-term stampers, right, Nadine and my friend Lois, we've been stamping for more than 20 years together. And I used to hold stamp camps, monthly stamping events. And it was, I'd say, oh, remember we did this at a stamp camp? Somebody said, no, I don't remember that one. Well, then maybe they weren't there that day. So, it's always good to review, and even I forget. So that's why I leave some of these cards out so that I could say, oh, yeah, I have to remember to do that thing again. Okay, so I will put these around. I think because there's a lot of gold there, I want to put this on the back. Do I need that one even? I need something else there. Yeah, I think I know it's hard to see on the camera, but you do see it in person. All right, so I think I will put those 3 down there. So let me glue this one, and then I'll show you how to put it all on. Now, because remember I showed you there are slits in this die, don't put glue there. Or else it'll seep through and it'll make your card sticky. Remember the Tombow glue is multi-purpose. That means it's a permanent glue. So it'll hold your things down very nicely when it's wet. If you adhere something to it when it's wet, it's a permanent glue. If you let it dry, it gets tacky. If you let it dry before you put it down, it's tacky, and that is a temporary glue, and it's created that way on purpose. So the bad part is if it seeps out along your project, it's never going to fully dry. It's going to stay tacky. Okay, so I'll do that there. Let me put this one down, and maybe I'll pop the last one up on some mini dimensionals. Give that a little bit extra stuff. Okay, so if you are watching live, don't forget to leave a comment. Say hello, maybe where you're from. It's always good to see. This modern age, who would have thought we'd be chatting with people across the country or other countries, right? Just mind-boggling to me. Now, our kids, however, are just growing up with this. They might not appreciate all of that because they're used to it. They'll be like, yeah, so what's the big deal, right? But those of us in my generation still think of it as a wow, amazing thing. I'm going to use my edge here and just cut a thin piece and put it along there so that it fits. Okay. There we go. Maybe another one over there. I might get a little obsessive with that, but I don't want anything sagging or looking weird. Okay. Okie dokie. Annette, you're so funny. You're so funny. Well, keep celebrating, my friends. Keep celebrating. And that's one of my biggest fans, non-stamping fan. She loves when I make cards for her. And I love when she enjoys my cards. So, win-win. Okie dokie, looking which way? I'm thinking that way. Ta-da! Like I said, I tend to overthink things, so I have to keep telling myself, don't overthink it, girl. Just make a decision and go with it. All right? So, like I said, deciding, oh, should the leaf go this way or that way? Or da, 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 da. Don't worry about it. Just, the person getting it is not going to say, gee, she really should have angled that by 1/4 of an inch counterclockwise. No, they're going to say, what a beautiful card, or just how nice somebody thought of me. I see, even I get cards in the mail, and I appreciate it too. Yep. Okay, so now we want to even get an idea where these cards are going to line up evenly on our card front. And, we'll put the twine on after. I'm going to put some linen thread in there. I'm going to tuck it in there to give it a little more texture. All right, so now we want to glue these down, but just on one side of the gatefold, right? So you can have it open whichever way you want. If you want the top part to be on the left side and the bottom part to be on the right, that's all good. You can go that way. If you want it the other way around, that works too. You want to put the top part on the right, the bottom part on the left. Again, that's fine too. It really doesn't matter, because as long as you don't do the same, then it's going to be all good. Now, this one, I don't even remember what I did. Oh, okay, this one opened that way and that way. No, either way. I'll do the other one the other way, just to be different. Yeah. All right, so we want to put this up here, leaving a similar amount of gap all the way around. So I'm getting an idea where that's going to be. All right, so if I leave a similar amount of gap here, I'm seeing I should leave maybe just a little more on top than the sides for it to not have too much gap in the middle. That's okay, just a tiny bit, not too much different. Okay, so this is sort of my trick here. I know that everything along here is going to be glued down, but I don't want to go too far over. So I'm going to kind of put my finger there, and no, I don't want to go past there, but I can put the glue on this side here. So let me just switch hands here so I can glue with my right hand. So I'm going to make sure this side of the paper is glued down. I'm going to not worry about getting too close over here. However, over here, I know this part can be glued down. I just don't want to go all the way up to the top. So I can make sure to put a little bit there. And I know that part will get glued down. Does that make sense? Okay. So here's where craft sheet can come in handy. Your silicone mat, just in case some glue slips out a little bit. Okay, and while I can adjust it, I'm going to get my other one here. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, and now that's all good. See, I know this is glued down nice and tight there. It's not going to gap because I put the glue right on the edge of the copper clay piece. All right, so now this one's going to go on the other side. And I'm going to do the same process. Okay, so I know right about here. I don't want to go past where my thumb is. err on the side of caution, not go too close. And then on this one, I'm just going to open it up so it's not going to get glue on something. And I know I want it on the edge here to hold it down. Okay. And over a little bit, it's not going to hurt. Okay, and then I can bring this back around. Just make sure. All right, that's going to be good. And I will plop that down there. Make sure there's no glue over there. Perfect. And then close it up. Make sure I'm straight before that glue completely dries. And we have a pretty card going on there. See? And then it opens. Ta-da! I think that's pretty. We'll put that on the inside. Of course, stamp a little something in there. I will take maybe these small leaves here. Or I could take another die cut and glue it in there. But I'll take these leaves for now. I'll just stamp them in copper clay. Down in the corner. Let's see, do I want it full strength or do I want it stamped off? That's the question. Let's see. Full strength, then stamped off. Maybe I'll do the stamped off version. Okay, that basically just means, some people call it second generation. So you stamp first, just lightly, and then I'm just going to catch part of that other leaf in there. Okay, and that's going to kind of dry a little lighter, and it'll be very nice. And we'll glue that inside. Close my ink pad first. All right. So I ordered some new things off of the online exclusives, and there are more things coming for you guys in November. I can pre-order some things, and I haven't done it yet, but there's some really nice things coming. Okay. All right, so there we go. Thankful to have you as a friend. Nice, fun little crossover card. Now here's a little something else. Let me clean this off. I'll show you very quickly. Now that you see the basic concept, I'll do the second one a little quicker. Okay. Hi, Melissa. Oh, Oregon. All right. And Barbara's back. Ta-da. All right. Well, thank you for popping on. Yeah, 3 hours difference. I don't know if I'd be up at 7 o'clock watching a video. Unless I'm just sitting up in bed and just woke up. I do that sometimes. Gotta take my time waking up and getting out of bed. Okay. Yeah, it's sad. That's the first thing I do. I wake up, reach for my phone, check it out, see what's going on. Usually if I get any emails, it's from my friend in Australia. There's a big time difference there. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so here's vertical version. Ta-da! And then here is the horizontal version. Now here's the old card that I did. Isn't that pretty? I love that paper. Something about beauties, or I don't know, blackberry beauty or something. Anyway, it was so pretty. I loved it. So this was the inspiration for the next card. So you're going to start with half a sheet of cardstock, cut the lengthways. All right, so you want to leave it at 11, and you're cutting it at 4.5. And then you're going to score it. Now, remember the math. Remember the concept. You're going to score it. Usually you score it at 5.5, right? Well, you want to score it at half that. So 2 3/4, right? 2 3/4 would be half of the 5 1/2. I'm going to score it there. We're going to crease it. Do not score the other side because you want to make sure it butts up really nicely. If you want to be extra sure, be able to see it a little bit better, especially with your darker cardstock, put a piece of white in there. You'll be able to see just fine. So you don't want to have a sloppy gap. So just butt it right up against. Okay, hold it securely. Crease it. And then throw your bone folder on the table and then burnish with it. Okay, so there you go. So no gap, no overlap. That rhymes, right? No gap, no overlap. All right, and then your pieces of cardstock that you're going to put across that, or in this case, I'm going to use gold foil, like I did on this card. All right, but we just don't have that DSP or those die cuts, so we're just going to do something else using gold foil, and this is going to be 2 inches by 5 1/4. Remember, a card is 5 1/2 this way, so we want a 1/4 inch less. So 2 inches by 5 1/4, and we'll want 2 of those. Okay, so it's going to be very close fit here. Then our DSP, we're going to want at 1 3/4 by 5. Okay, so now this is, I wanted to have something with the Blackberry Bliss in the background with the gold over it, but obviously we don't have that paper anymore. So I was thinking, okay, what do I have? And in this pack, there wasn't anything with that color combination. There was the mauve, but nothing with that blackberry, and I just love that blackberry. It's just such a rich fall color. And so I said, all right, we're going to take this one here, the white, and we're going to brush Blackberry Bliss ink over it. So here we go. Here's the blackberry. There's that. I'm going to take my blending brush and the Blackberry Bliss ink. Now the ink will cover up the white, but the foil will resist the ink. So we're going to cover over it. That's where I'm going to bring in my sloppy paper here. I know I made a little bit of a mess there, but that's okay. And we're going to make the background the Blackberry Bliss, and then we wipe off with a paper towel, wipe off where it resisted on the gold, and it'll show through. Now, obviously, these lines are much finer than the decoration on here, and we're not going to get the tone over here, but that's okay. I'm just using it as an inspiration and making my own substitutions, and this is what I encourage you all to do, too. Okay, oh, I know, Melinda, you know what, Melinda, Melinda loved this paper, and I agree with her. I think of you, Melinda, every time I use it. Yep, like your name is on that, girl. All right, when you're doing your blending, start off your page first, and then rub onto it. Otherwise, and sometimes you want to tap a little bit too. Otherwise, you're going to get that kind of a splotch. You don't want to come straight down onto it and get that splotchy. You want to get that swirl first. So start lightly and then move onto your paper with emotion. Now, the Designer Series paper is thin, so be careful, you know, that you don't catch it and bend it. I've done that a little bit, at least on the other piece. And obviously, you can control how much ink you want on there. Do you want it a nice even look? Do you want it a faded look in some places? Because this already has some gold, you know, the fading, the antique rustic look to it. So you can decide if you want your color to show that too. Kind of, you know, leave a little gap in between there, or do you want it to be more uniform? I am going to make it as dark as I can for now. Okay, so just keep going over it. Your fingers will get a little messy, so you can, if you want, hold it with paper towel. That might be helpful. I'm not going anywhere important today. Okay. Although my granddaughter will be spending the day here, and she'll be here soon. So we will finish up here. Okay, so you can, like I said, you can make it as dark as you like. I could go even darker if I wanted. But, oh, see, I did get a little splotch there. Maybe I could blend that in a little bit more. Ah, see, I did what I said don't do. All right, I was able to blend it. Now, see, it bent up a little bit. It's all right, it's going to be glued down. All right. Alrighty, Darlene, we'll see you. We're wrapping up here anyway. You can catch the end on the replay. Thanks for tuning in. Alrighty, so now we want to, for two reasons, we want to wipe off where the ink went over the foil. Because, number one, we want that foil to show through a little bit better. And also, if somebody were to touch it, it's going to come off on their fingers, right? So we're going to wipe it off to reveal some of that shine. And this might have been a little bit more evident had the gold been thicker on here. But anyway, don't forget that that's something that you can do. All right, so then we'll glue that onto there. I just remembered I didn't put the twine on the other card. Okay, for that one, since it's the delicate leaves, I'm just going to use linen thread. Just something rustic. Oh, my glue is coming down to the end. I hate to waste any. I use it down to the bitter end. Okay, so this kind of has a little bit of a look between the Blackberry Bliss and the Moody Mauve, actually. That's okay, it'll be nice contrast. Alright, this glue has a little more in it. Come on. A little sticky on the top there, that's why. Alrighty. Blackberry Beauty, I think that's what it's called, Debbie. Yeah, it was Beauty something. I think it was Blackberry Beauty. It's so pretty. It came with like an ephemera set, like these die cuts that were already cut out, and you know those little frames, and the thing that was on the inside. Okay, that was like a kind of like a die cut sticker cardstock weight. It was really pretty. Okay, so this is going to go across the same way we did the vertical one. I'm going to glue it on one side and the bottom piece on the other side. All right, so again, I'm going to look to see not to go past that. And then I'm just going to finish decorating this on my own later. You can come back and see it. So I always encourage you all to post your examples. I really enjoyed, a couple weeks ago, there were a lot of people that did the diagonal, the DSP. I really enjoyed everybody showing me their designs. It was fabulous. Okay, so this is a little off here. Well, I'm a little late in moving that, but don't worry. All right, I'm going to put the glue mostly here, and then a little bit here. It'll be fine. So I hope you do the same with this. Show me your crossover gatefolds. And like I said, this one's a little bit off, but hopefully the recipient won't notice or won't mind. And look how pretty that looks. So you can create your own colors if you don't already have that color. Don't forget that you can use your blends or sponges or sponge daubers, whatever. So I will finish decorating that. I don't have any more gold leaves, but now here's the idea, right? Get something on there. Alrighty, so thank you for tuning in today. Just a couple quick little updates. There's a lot going on with my events and Stampin' Up. First of all, there's the join offer. Join for 35% less, or and get $125 worth of product for just 64 or something, or you get 35% more product. That's more like 168 or something. For the $99. So that's a great deal for October. And I'm going to switch my camera around. Oh, there's my lamp. Hello. Also, Monday, I am hosting Stampin' Bingo. It's been a fun, popular event. And I'm looking forward to playing some bingo games with you, doing 4 projects. You will get to watch me do those projects, and then you will get the card kits after bingo. That way, if you win any prizes, I can include the prizes in with what I send you. I don't have to do 2 mailings on that. So, and this way you can just sit back and relax, and we can go a little bit quicker. Get in the bingo games, get in some door prizes, and have a lot of fun. So you would get a card kit for 4 cards that we make during bingo. You have opportunities to win prizes. The more people that join in, the bigger the cash prize. Well, cash meaning toward rewards, toward Stampin' products with me. So, in the past, we've had $30, $40, $50 winners, and it's fun. They can offset your things, your purchases. And more people, the prizes can go up. So more people joining in adds to the pot for the prizes. That's Monday night. Please register today or tomorrow. I'll see, based on my schedule, I might be able to extend it to Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. But please sign up for that. That's going to be lots of fun. You'll get the PDFs. You'll get the card kits. You'll get $15 worth of products in with those card kits. Some of you have done it before. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us, if you've enjoyed it or not. And we've had a lot of fun. In fact, the last time that I did this, we had a blackout in my house just before I was about to go on the Zoom to do bingo. Luckily, it was still a little bit light. I'm like, oh no, I've lost electricity and I have to do bingo. What the hell is going to happen? Well, I found one of our old camping lanterns and the battery still worked. So I was able to put that next to my desk, and we managed through. It was crazy, and we had some troopers, but it was fun and a very memorable experience. You never know what's going to happen. So bingo, Monday night. Sign up from my blog, stampwithlorraine.com. You'll see it right up there. The join offer. Watch the online exclusives. If you are wondering when products are going to come back into stock, just shoot me an email and I'll see what Stampin' Up is saying about those. All right. So I appreciate you coming on. And hi, Jennifer. Thank you, Sandra. Glad you liked the cards. Those people getting paper shares, enjoy that. The PDFs are coming this weekend as well for those people. All righty. So have a great weekend, everyone. And enjoy. We'll see you next time. Oh, wait. Next week is the 3rd Friday, right? So next week will be a different time. Okay, I switch it up just to accommodate different people. So we'll see you then. Oh, thank you for those little fun emojis there. All righty. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.